like are more so playing to prove that they belong, to prove that they are part of this group of top teams, just to prove the doubters wrong, let's say. Take a look at the pistol round, though, as the desk was pointing out. XSET are pretty well prepped for this.
Oh, off the rip, you can feel it. Leviatan have been playing this Neon comp last few matches. Found some success of it on Split, obviously. And you know, both of these teams, they do love to lean into each other's map picks as well.
And all of this aggression down mid and out of B main is funneling people into Takolia, who's sat here with a shorty.
You don't expect this, surely. You don't clear this, the shorty doesn't get returned with the kill, in fact. But the damage is done. Right from on high, on top of Heaven. King's already ready to supplement it. Raining down the bullets. Cryo just trying to walk through the slow field.
That's the spike.
Yeah, drop down.
It looked like he was searching for a weapon or something, but he's put Zekken and Def in a very hard position to win, and Melsa just deals with them. No problem whatsoever. And I think XSET have the advantage on this first map, even though Leviatan are 3-0 with this current composition. It's been XSET's best map for quite a while. And when I look at the compositions, I think XSET have deliberately counter-stratted them here with the comp itself. You've got Def with slow orbs, walls, that kind of thing, and BCJ pulling out the paranoia should be a more effective tool to deal with than the suck from Astra, weirdly enough, because you can just run past those sucks. It's so hard to get the timing. So for Leviatan to be able to pick up the pistol here, and we'll see how much more momentum they can find, they could get the early footing.
It's a big deal.
And with how much the game plan collapsed for XSET against Optic, these first impressions and the momentum you can get early in the series could be very important.
This is high risk right now. Easily could be punished, but no one's going to be following off of this. Bit of an off angle straight down mid as well, spamming it with the Spectre. CJ falls. It is about that momentum, I think, for them. A rebound off the flash. Going to try and re-clear this one as well. Stun supplementing that. Pushing them back, but still slow is the name of the game, with a minute left in the clock here on the eco.
And this is how XSET are going to be approaching their attack half. Little jiggle from Adverso, spots the player.
A good trade at the end of the day.
And that's the power of XSET all grouping up as they take mid like this. Going to be able to get a Spectre into their hands, but no map control, no information towards A main or B main because they're playing so grouped and trying to trade out against better guns. So now take a little bit of a riskier split back through B. And they're going to meet Takolia again with the Headhunter.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, gonna go
He's
for
so
that
comfortable
split,
with the Headhunter. It really looks like a weapon in his hands.
It certainly is a weapon. Slide off angle has to respect it though, backs away. The aftershock to try and stop him from going through the choke point, but while all this is going on, time is running low. Wall going to be dropped down. It's up to Cryo to see if he can catch timing. Stun dropped. The kills are going to start to fly through for them. In fact, they found many off the back of it. Spike has to be snuck over. The crossfire is being watched.
What a play.
He's worked his way into their spawn. Watching the angle, and it's just a thrifty win off of it.
What a thrifty to get XSET back into this one early. They needed a bit of a confidence boost, I think, in the first 4 or 5 rounds, but to find one round 2.
You can hear him screaming.
Yeah.
10 seconds
Yeah, these
left.
guys are hyped. They're determined not to allow the same errors that plagued their game occur again. But this is above and beyond being able to take round 2.
Leviatan's comp as well. I mean, I love this composition.
Listen to that. Specifically from Def and Aaron as well. 2 of the players that didn't really step up and have those huge performances. The players with experience, they're screaming.
And the desk was touching on it. In terms of, you know, that first seed North American curse. For the guard, when they ended up losing at Reykjavik, it was off the back of that inexperience and the rookie players. Hasn't really been the case as much of XSET. It's been Cryo and Zekken really turning up the youngest players.
Yeah.
And the experienced players who really just weren't there in the Optic match.
Yeah, dropping the ball a little bit. I think specifically Def, as the IGL, ended up having 9 first deaths in the series against Optic. He'll be wanting to calm down a little bit, reduce the amount of opening duels that he's taking. And the game plan itself fell to pieces too, and that wasn't just Def, because Aaron does the calling for them on the defense side. Now, tuning back into the game though, this has just been a very easy eco round for XSET to put away. I think Leviathan are going to find it quite difficult to get. Are they just strategizing about what?
Min-maxing. Yeah, they're trying to get the res on to death.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be much more difficult for Leviathan to pull off these big eco rounds because XSET are just going to sit back they're going to take a very defaulty, safe approach to this attack half. But if they group up and barrel over people, we've already seen how dangerous those rounds can be. And what a great economy to have as you head into a round that could break Leviatan again.
Plenty of money. Prime Gaming flawless, of course, so lose any of that weaponry. They dealt with that aggressive push quite nicely. XSET are going to be quite comfortable, I think, as well, playing against this Neon. Certain regions, it's a bit more of a rarity peak, but, I mean, XSET were forged in the fires and flames of playing against FaZe.
Yeah.
They're used to it.
And not just FaZe, Optic played this composition too.
They're suppressed.
2 players detected over by the A side. You're expecting Aaron on this Viper pick to work A ramp pretty heavily. The smoke cutting off information from Takolia's position up at A ramp, and anybody playing
really awkward
the back of A2. Look how aggressive Adverso is in mid. This is the second time he's tried to play these kind of positions right behind the smoke. With, I guess, kind of shy there to trade, but not too many people around.
The smoke is awkward because look at this, the players of XSET grouping up around Takolia. Has to get value with this operator pickup. That's why they put it in his hands to see if he can find something, but it's Zekken who takes him out first.
A major first pick for Zekken, shy instantly with the response. Throws down a fragment grenade as well to stop the rest of XSET exploding into the site.
This is really nice delay, I think, from Leviatan.
Can
Shy.
BCJ get anything done on the other side of the map? No, he's just going for the backstab lurk. And eventually XSET break through.
Oh, Zekken's already going to be taking a lot of that space. Aaron does get spotted and King will fall. Just trying to contest this one now. 3 players left alive for Leviatan. Obviously still doable for them, but BCJ's found wonderful timing off the back of that one. Reminiscent of the way that, honestly, Def sometimes plays when they were playing him on the smokes. And still down with the rifles in their hands. Leviatan, they've got an opportunity, but it's slowly slipping away from them now. Just left alone, and Verso just wondering where the remnants of them are, hiding in every little pocket of the map.
What a fantastic round from Zekken. And he opens it up and finishes it off 5-2 currently. And the desk was talking about his statistics. Yeah, they were slightly worse than the North American playoffs, but that was in a loss to Optic in God form. So Zekken has definitely been stepping up for this team. However, he was getting first killed a lot. That was one of the issues that they ran into, was Zekken dying early, and they didn't convert a single 4v5 round, which is astonishing. But if Zekken can keep delivering them the entry kills, that's going to be a major win condition for them on the attack. Here's Aaron. Aaron knows what to do against this kind of aggression. He backs off, absorbs it, and Leviathan don't see too much.
It's incredibly passive positioning from Aaron, so yeah, nothing gained. A bit of damage. Mid-explored. Have to be careful, of course, when you're up against the eco to half buys, even when in this particular situation, you never know when it could just be turned on its head. Melza in particular, player I'm looking at, that Bucky in his hands, could do some significant damage, but Zekken's probably going to be double satchelating right past him. The nade sent through, that's going to be a pull, moves across, but not able to claim the kill, and Cryo is so good for it.
Takolia unable to have any impact back here. Oh, hello, Def. Going for a peek. Gives Takolia 1. Only 3 bullets in the headhunter, now down to 2. It does look like this would be almost impossible. The gun, irretrievable. But Leviathan will try and do as much damage as possible to a flourishing economy.
Yeah, at this point, either just setting up, trying to anticipate a player walking into them to try and play the exits. Looks like Takolia might want to go for something. Smoke drop down in spawn side, though that's going to honestly dissuade anything that he was trying to go for. Just playing for the exits and to die to the spike at this point.
Yeah, essentially just dying to the spike, trying to stop any level of ultimate snowball that XSET might get online. But you're thinking about this coming into the next round, which is going to be another economical swing situation. XSET are going to be going in with a showstopper, for example. A tour de force available for Cryo if he wants to try and navigate that on the attack half too. And while Leviathan do have some tools, the early round aggression is more so what their comp is going to be suited for. And there are some cool trap plays you can run with this, especially around mid, that we might see come out. But you're looking for Rolling Thunder to get online or something like that, maybe King's Ultimate, before you can properly execute those. So far, XSET in pretty commanding control.
Yeah, for their attack side, it's pretty good, honestly. Cryo with the tour de force. whips this one out now, going to be locking down that angle straight down mid. Obviously doesn't want to overextend, just holding in case they do end up pushing deeper into mid. You can see a lot of these slow, cautious rounds from XSET on their attack side, just the nature of their composition running these double controller.
Adverso.
Oh, they're just spamming a common angle.
Yeah, Adverso has been playing that position so many times, and this time
in a row.
This time XSET get the read. And BCJ, Shy is getting...
I mean, this play is just, you're going to get punished instantly. It's traded.
Just trying to grab that information, but not having a read on how slow XSET are playing. That's a nice one to get them back into the round, though. BCJ took B main very early on, and Takolia is effective with the retake.
Yeah, this feels like Leviatan defaulting to high-risk, high-reward plays, but they have evened it out in this round.
And that's where you can stop. That's where you can slow things down. You're not at a player disadvantage anymore. But Melsa's going to be asked to do everything.
Yeah, one star waiting at the choke point a little bit
30
deeper.
seconds left.
Question is, can Melsa even survive this one?
Does he even know?
Angle does end up getting that pull off, and it's in a good placement for it. Spots him out as Cryo was just trying to scale off of it, take a bit of space onto ramp. Second eventually just breaking free of all that utility. Doesn't get the rocket off, though. Down to the two players left into this post plan for XSET. Incredibly winnable round for Leviatan.
If Aaron had managed to grab a kill at any other point, the Viper's Pit would certainly be getting used right now. But Leviatan are playing this so cautiously, so safely. Somehow, Aaron dodging the stuns.
Yep. Sent them flying fast lane down to see if they can get and drop. Down onto the low ground, just spamming through, finding that first kill. Aaron Fallen's all down to Zekken, only the one finding the second. You've got to be kidding me. 7 bullets left. A dodge, a juke right round the corner, around the map, but King, oh!
Does he have it?
I think he might have just had enough time. It's right down to the wire. Is it going to be enough? The answer is yes. 0.10 on the clock. Leviatan going to be gaining a round.
That's one to sweat about.
Ooh.
And Zekken is going to be kicking himself because he chose that timing to go and swing. He had a nade back online, but was uncomfortable trying to pick a timing. And take a look at the replay again.
Enemy remaining.
He's just dancing around. And if he had been literally 0.1 of a second slower on the swing, they win that. What a big one. What a big one there for King to come out and win in the clutch.
King is the centerpiece of a lot of these Neon compositions, especially Leviatan when they're playing it. The guy who they're going to be relying on. Paranoia drifting across B main there.
BCJ is using a ton of utility early round to stop Takolia going for early B main control. Last round he used a smoke just in the middle of B main and slowly tried to get in there, still ended up dying. This time, Paranoia off the rip, just to push the Oppa back.
Just to set Cryo up on the angle, so he can hold it and try and take that space. It's going to be explored at the same time.
And a reminder here, Brent, that both of these teams actually chamber duel and Cryo comes out on top of it. I mean, they seem to know exactly where Taco is going to be playing. And my point that I was going to bring up, Brent, they've only had 24 hours to prep.
Not a lot of time at all. King returning fire, though. Thinks out second, but the Resurrect ready and waiting in the back pocket, offloaded, even a snake bite, so that it ensures that King just can't hold the angle and spam it down to make sure he can undo that work.
Melsa is doing a great job of holding down A ramp, though. He was the player that got him a man advantage situation previously, and now he's in front of the Viper utility. Oh, Zekken, though, finds a pick on a player trying to push out. Can Melsa do it again?
Finds the one. Two players still going to try to swing him! What a spray down! Exactly when his team needed it. And the positioning is gained. The XSET players, they try and return once more. The Rolling Thunder scattered across. 14 seconds down, and it's ticking.
10
Spike
seconds
is
left.
unobtainable right now. This is going to be a one round for Leviatan, and it's all down to Melsa.
Disgustingly good A-ramp anchoring there from Melsa in back-to-back rounds
Last player
to
standing.
get his team back into it. BCJ's gun gets ripped away as well. What a hero Melsa is right now. He's getting them tons of good info just by playing in front of the Viper utility. And it feels like the only area of the map that XSET aren't dominating. They're winning the duels in B main, they're winning the duels in mid as well, outplaying the players there. But Melsa just lining those players up on Aaron and Cryo so perfectly.
Space and not quite there with a swing.
XSET's back was broken against Optic when Crashies kept winning clutch rounds against them.
Yeah.
I wonder what their mental's looking like now, and this pause will give them time to stew.
Really think about it. Leviatan, feels like the confidence is back. Obviously, the few instances that we've been able to listen in to their comms at the end of these rounds, they've been in high spirits, obviously.
Yeah. And both of these teams are in such similar positions. #1 seeds from North America and Latin America, respectively, playing their second match with only 24 hours to prep for an opponent that they won't have played before. I very much doubt they'll have been scrimming against each other as they head into this event. You know, being out of the group stage and such, they might well meet in the bracket. And the adjustments that XSET have made with their composition, I like them. I think that they've done a good job, and they've clearly thought very heavily about how Leviatan approached this map.
Yeah, trying to prep for it.
But also, Leviatan are still finding those moments, those glimpses of beauty that made us all respect them so much when they played against DRX.
It can come out of any of the players. Takalia at times has shown just absolutely outstanding potential. And so far this map, it's been Melza.
Yeah, and even if we want to talk about Taco for a moment, Taco had an insane map 1 against DRX, and then didn't really do too much in map 2 and map 3. But to me, the way that DRX were focusing on shutting Taco down and denying him any opportunity to take angles was what was the issue for him. It wasn't that Taco was underperforming, it was that he got hard countered by that utility. And I think the same thing could be said here. Takalia, 3 and 5, but it's not because he's missing shots, it's because XSET are reading the angles he wants to take, pressuring him out with utility, and then Cryo is in a position to try and punish him and take the head-to-head. And so that shows me a level of respect.
Yeah.
But also, it's on Taco then to maneuver around the game plan and still find his
the
value.
options and the values, yeah. Just from playing it. He really has been, it feels like, corralled into the side of B main. I think early on with that pressure, we saw Aaron just lobbing over the Viper Warp as well, cutting off those sightline angles.
Yeah. It's impossible for... So if you think about things from Taco's perspective, trying to op on the defense, and he is one of the biggest opping players that we have in the event. He plays it like third most across the entirety, or second most, sorry, across the entirety of the players here at Masters. If he tries to op mid, there's going to be a smoke in his face and people struggling to help him. It's not the game plan at the moment, though we will see him op mid a little bit. But if he goes towards A ramp, he's got Viper utility in his face. It's extremely difficult to try and op that.
That's why you see the adjustment. Melza going over there and playing there instead.
Yeah.
It's worked out.
Yeah, it definitely has. But Cryocells was an excellent player yesterday, and that's who Taco is up against on the other side of things. Cryo's been playing like a beast. He's been the best player so far for XSET. His playoffs performance was fantastic, and my question was, is he going to be able to replicate that when he gets to international competition? And thus far, he has. Thus far, he is playing lights out.
These numbers that he's building up, I mean, they were outstanding considering the fact that he was coming off the back of a loss. I mean, I think he was
Of course, these are his stats from yesterday as well.
Absolutely,
in that loss.
Yeah, tied second in terms of the kills per round that he was being able to get. The value he was finding was just, I mean, astonishing. And there's a magnifying glass, I think, over a lot of these young, inexperienced players every time they come into these events. But Cryo and Zekken, with all the pressure that was on their shoulders, they seem to have been flourishing, even under the circumstances of losing to Octane.
What's interesting, though, is that Cryo was playing as a mid-round player. It was Zekken and Def taking the vast majority of those early engagements, which is a stark contrast to the way that Taco plays, but Cryo was cleaning up. In the few instances, only 5 occasions where Cryo took an opening duel, he won every single one. But he's not taking many of them. It was only 5 over the course of the series. You know, Def, their IGL, who's playing like smokes and initiators, took 9. So, you know, and I think Zekken took about 12, something like that. Yeah. So, yeah, Cryo not playing exactly the same kind of style, but when he's asked to do work and put up damage and kills in the middle of these rounds, or to trade players out and to use the space that Zekken creates for him, he does a great job.
In case you're wondering what's happening with the tech pause, slight monitor issue with one of the teams involved. We can make guesses, you know, on who it might be. Maybe even run a poll as to who it might be.
Just run a poll that changes reality.
Maybe we can just read the, I mean, if you read the facial expression, you can see who's most pissed off at the moment. and seeing who, you know, the game's being decided. I mean, BCJ's looking cool, calm, and collected.
BCJ is looking cool,
He's been
calm,
chatting
collected.
so much smack over the course of the tournament.
He has, and that has put a microscope on him as well. And there is this story about where he stacks up in terms of the initiators, but we had an opportunity to listen to what he had to say as well about performing at the international level. And I want to hear that.
Somebody was going to lose today, and it sucks that I didn't perform as well as I'd hoped, but obviously there's a lot of things behind the scenes that the fans don't know about, and so we're getting ready for our next match, and we'll be the best version of ourselves because of this loss. I think what's changed the most is probably that LAN environment. I know a lot of us, this is our first LAN, more specifically Cryo and Zekin. Getting them comfortable, getting, you know, the rest of us, you know, amped, ready to go is definitely key, and I think you saw today how over time we kind of got a lot stronger during the, you know, towards the end of the match.
BCJ actually has a one-on-one on the site right now.
I think what people don't realize is that being comfortable allows you to think better, play better, and you know that's kind of where you want to get to. My whole family has been watching the games together. Big shout out to all of them, and for all those that are repping the set, we hear you, we see you, and we love you guys.
Certainly made the match, I think, more interesting than otherwise. A lot of people, you know, it's I've seen a lot of complaints online of people saying like, oh, why are they talking all this smack? You know, well, at the end of the day, you know, we're talking about the series.
Yeah,
about the players.
You want them to just turn up to their first international event like a wet lettuce?
No, that's how you get the Overwatch League, Joe. That's not what we want. That's not what we want.
No, I appreciate that XSET is willing to go out there and talk their talk, but then you have to prove that you're ready for the big leagues. And I think that's the story of XSET in this match, honestly. While Leviatan, like I said, are playing for a spot in Champions and are playing to bring glory back to South America and their LATAM region, for XSET, I feel like they're proving that they're ready for the big time. And they are clearly good enough to get here. I mean, they're qualified to get here as well. But that could be said for Northampton, and that could be said for Guild. Of course, two other big teams that have had their first opportunity at an international level and have already booked flights home. So for XSET, they're trying to avoid that kind of situation, a guard situation from last time.
We keep touching on it. The desk has been talking about it as well. That first seed North American curse of you get that first seed, you go up against Optic in the upper game for whatever reason, and you're sent packing all the way down to that lower bracket. Have to battle your way through, but yeah, hopefully the issue will be resolved soon enough to get the game back underway.
Yeah, I'm sure people are working as fast as they can to try and do that too. Yeah. There's another player actually in this match, though, that, oh, we're already back in. All right, there we go, let's have it. So, a reminder of where we're sat. It's 4-3 in the lead for XSET, but Leviathan were mounting a bit of a comeback, and here's Tackle with a very early
aggressive.
peek.
This is so aggressive.
The first time they haven't thrown util at him.
Yeah, oh, it's a complete wide swing to try and bait the shot out, but still, has to respect the paranoia that was sent flying towards him. Rendezvous back to safety.
You can see already how much value they're getting out of the Omen pick. Not necessarily kills, but positioning, map control.
Fully grouped up. Down to be main, that's going to be the Omen TP right into the back, and the nade. The stuns to cut across here. The rest of XSET actually can't follow up off of all this space that's been gained, but the smoke, it splits it up and it gives enough coverage just for Zekin to strike.
It's an awesome punish from Zekin. And look at how they're using BCJ's smokes as well, just to cut off all of these Leviathan players that might want to punish them. XSET are slowly marking their area of the map and dividing it up, slicing the space and taking it.
They have been denied this though. The Cosmic Divide splitting up the site. That's going to be a Viper's Pit off the end of it. Space needs to be gained here. The rest of the Leviathan players, they have worked their way through. The side just trying to deny up the spike plant.
30 seconds left.
Time is running so low. It's just spam against spam. Bullets flying from one side to the other. Adverso. He's walked his way into the back. A timing here needs to be impeccable, and he's got it, but still it's being covered at the back. Only 17 seconds left, and it's all up to Shy. But Cryo, the big wraparound right from on high, on top of heaven, shuts it down.
And the poise is looking lovely right now from XSET. They're not rushing anything. They're making sure they punish any of the plays that the Leviathan players are going for. I mean, King could have easily got value on that wraparound play from Pillar. It's a smart play, but Zekin reads it and swings through the smoke off the back of the sound cue. And then you've got Cryo making this reflank after Adversos has been shut down.
And that's perfect timing as well. Mauser was watching that for so long.
Yeah, it is absolutely perfect.
Create chaos, baby, that's what we do.
So create chaos, is that what I heard?
Yeah, I think so. Create chaos, baby, that's what we do. coming out from BCJ. It looks like XSET wanted to go a little bit faster this round, and they've been instantly shut down by a suck nade combo. And little Taco is so advanced.
Pushed into sewer.
You just
with
never
a
expect this. If any of the XSET players come down here, Taco's
I
going to
mean,
spawn a slow field as well.
How did they anticipate this?
Was that a deliberate jiggle from
Yeah,
Def?
they just knew that the space had been lost, I suppose, and decided to test it.
Crazy good awareness.
Nade into the corner, they got another players there, forces it out. Showstopper up into the high ground, just a flick of the wrist off to the side. Adverso already, and waiting, what is that flick? Aaron's down and out, and it's all down to Taco. Taco Leah, tour de force, 1v2, this weapon, anything's possible. Players grouped up, doubled up on this slight angle, one behind. Just a flower pot, but doesn't expect it. The XSET players just holding that.
Yeah. I think that's really a really good attempt by Leviatan to try and make the round as close as possible. But Cryo's just holding these angles, shutting down the players, and it's the same duo. This time you're getting big performances, though, out of BCJ, and Def is playing much better in terms of his opening duel win rates. But it's still Cryo and Zekken doing a lot of that heavy lifting. And I think, potentially, the swap from BCJ over to Omen might have allowed him to have some level of mental reset.
For sure.
We're going into a tactical here, I believe. But, yeah, I think the swap from BCJ over to Omen, his Omen's been great. He's been playing it occasionally in the past on Split. He's been pulling it out on Ascent. And it gives him an opportunity to move away from the initiator role and maybe the whole headspace he's in of being one of the best initiators in the world.
And putting so much focus on him.
Just focus on the Omen. His Omen utility has been amazing and extremely unique so far. Throwing smokes that are specifically targeted to Leviatan players, not just default choke points being smoked off.
It's all purposeful.
It is.
To shut down players like Taco Leah. I mean, we all know how capable these players are on Leviatan. Incredibly skilled. Taco Leah can absolutely take over a game if you give him those opportunities, but he's just being kind of pushed out. He's not being offered the same opportunities to really let loose over the map and find those options. The timeout being taken for Leviatan.
Yeah, and thus far, XSET have managed to contain Leviatan's aggression.
Yeah.
We saw it in spades when they played against DRX. Map 1, they were wide swinging, aggressive, hitting their shots, and XSET have managed to just dampen all of it. Paranoia used again off the rip for BCJ just to take B main control at the beginning of the round. Such a heavy investment. The rest of XSET move their way towards middle.
Holding these crossfires, the smoke is propped up. Adverso's in a world of hurt. Drop down, the spam, I mean, they're just catching stray bullets all over the bloody shop.
Yeah, they've got a fantastic read on how Leviatan want to try and contest this. Taco has moved into that position that Meltzer was previously playing, pushing in front of the Viper utility. So 4 of these Leviatan players are going to be able to stack towards mid and B. Hasn't been enough yet, though.
So much damage done. Deep positioning gained though by Taco Leah. Knows that there's no players lurking towards that, so it does give Leviatan a bit of an advantage that they know that this is being heavily played in mid. The double swing, different elevations as well. So XSET clear that one, making sure that they're favored. But they get close enough. They know the trademark's not set up there. They don't hear the sound cue.
The time is definitely ticking, and King and Adverso are waiting on B with full utility.
This off angle, Josh.
30
Right now, they're
seconds
just
left.
trying to break it, steadily make their way in. The nade cut across. King not being separated. Perfect crosshead placement, drops down to the low ground. Cryo, he's been dealt with.
And all of these stuns, all of these flashes, XSET just have to go. There's no time.
Yeah, there needs to be some oomph off the back of it, but BCJ seems to be delivering. 12 seconds left. The spike has
10
to be
seconds
stuck.
left.
Coverage is there. Going to be able to get themselves into this post-plant situation. And Shy just opts to just save. They're just going to save.
They're just going to save. I mean, how many
2v3?
How many saves did we see coming out from Leviatan? In the game against DRX, they were saving constantly. And it is the percentage play. When you're all the way over the other side of the map, you're very unlikely to win these kind of moments. But it must be so mentally difficult to deal with.
I think it's a really difficult decision to make because you can feel the series just ever so slightly slipping away from you, and you want to take those high-risk plays. You want to take a 2v3 fight despite the fact that you're going to be losing positioning just trying to retake it all.
I mean, you say slightly slipping away from them. XSET now have 7 rounds on their attack half of Split, and their composition looks good on defense.
Yeah.
It's clear that they have brought their A game today. And even in that moment where there's 20 seconds left and they have to barrel through, it looks like King and Adverso should be able to shut it down. And yet after getting the opener, there was no more. There was nothing extra.
Yeah.
They couldn't get the synergy together. Adverso was spamming out flashes from the back of the site, just couldn't quite catch the timing to trade King out. And you got Zek and BCJ barreling their way through. Much better performance today out of BCJ.
Yeah, off to a ridiculous start.
And still that nasty consistency from Zekin and Cryo.
A reminder as well, I mean, this is XSET's preferred map pick. When they get to play Split, they're often going to be picking it.
Arguably their best map.
Yeah. Got floated in the Optic game. I think Optic were trying to bait them.
Yeah. I mean, Optic aren't scared of any map.
No.
But the rest of the series, you're getting the best possible 3 maps for these 2 teams. I mean, all 3 of these maps, Split, Ascent, and Haven, are up at the top of both teams' map pools. This one should be the most one-sided map that we see. And if Leviatan are able to get back into it and give themselves some belief and some hope, it could send the entire series cascading in a different direction.
Yeah, theoretically, this series, it should be heating up in terms of how even it is. Just with what we've been mentioning about the map pool, but a very slow beginning to this one.
And it looks like a full A retake kind of setup. They need to be cautious about Heaven. And Adverso was watching it for a moment. Now he returns back. But they have great ultimates to retake here. Rolling Thunder.
One of us! Oh, he doesn't have his weapon out! And he's been punished for it.
I thought Adverso's positioning was specifically to stop that, but apparently not.
30 seconds left.
He got caught completely off guard.
Not expecting to push through, and the coverage once more. The XSET players. Oh, they're finding all the space in the world. King just trying to capitalize. He tries to push past the smoke, see if he can rattle off a shot. Or 2 Melzer can't even get past. Has to just knife his way through.
Brutal.
Oh, and the shot's being baited.
The doorway not quite wide enough for Melzer. And it's just on his own. It looked like a round where they might have been able to do something with low economy. A Rolling Thunder, King had his ultimate as well. And King was still able to find 2 great shots with the Vandal in his hand. But this half has thoroughly slipped away from Leviatan. I mean, XSET are bringing a masterful game. And again, Brent, with only 24 hours to prep against this comp. Hey, maybe they already had it in the lab. Maybe they were planning to bring it out against an Optic or something like that. If they thought Optic were going to stick with the Neon comp, which they themselves have been moving away from. But nevertheless, I think this is extremely oppressive.
You want to play?
A little slower once more. It's been the tale of this map, honestly, just the constant back and forth descent of utility to push Takulia out of these deep positions.
Imagine being Takulia. You're playing for champions. You win this match and you make it to champions, overtake crew, and they're throwing utility at you and you can't have impact in the game.
You just can't do anything.
It must be so frustrating for these Leviathan players. The way that XSET is approaching their half right now. They've got them in a chokehold.
Final round of the first half. Couple of seconds obviously being bled away from the clock now. Down to the minute mark. Looks like it's going to be the end over towards the A side of things for XSET.
And BCJ is throwing the same utility that he normally does for a B burst.
Pulls the players over.
There's the smoke, the paranoia. This is a fake.
Yeah.
Taco finally finds the first pick, and he's anticipating more people, and they're just not coming.
Well, Taco getting that first pick is honestly massive for him. He didn't spot any other players. Honestly, they should know that this hit is coming in now onto the A side. You can see the fragment nade, the knife, spots out the remaining XSET players, and now time is running low for them. This is a beautiful round of Leviatan, should be able to convert it.
Melzer was solo anchoring, just goes for a little info peek, worried about XSET moving away.
And XSET are so happy to just play that comfortable position, moving forward. Still though, the Rolling Thunder is catching, and it set them up beautifully once more. Shy with 2, all down to Cryo. Not enough time in the world, the overdrive popped off, a quick little glide to the side, stunned up.
10 seconds left.
Not going to be able to win this one out in the slightest. And that is going to be the 4th one on the board for Leviatan. Maybe, just maybe Josh tonight.
It would have to be one hell of an attacker for Leviatan to get back into this game. I think XSET have got the wind behind them right now and are looking great on their map pick.
Yeah, dominant first half from XSET. Let's send it down to the analysts to break down all the action of what we've seen thus far.
Thank you very much, guys. Now, I feel like we were finally understood why nobody lets this map through against XSET. You just can't. They're going to do that to you. The adaptation is just great here.
The adaptation is excellent. They come out with a new composition, and I think it works really well for them. Not only is it, well, I wasn't fully denying the Neon on this side. It was more so that they were just shooting the Neon when they ran forward. But this team is already really heavy on the contact plays here, so losing out on that initiator utility hasn't really hurt them, I feel.
Yeah, I do think that that first half is absolutely ridiculous with the fact that these players are able to consistently see so much space with the comp that they're running. That should have been the downside here. Honestly, when I look at this comp, I also think that, sure, we can say that it's here to counter the Neon, but that's really the second half where I think it starts to come in. I'm very worried for Leviatan as well, because I think across that whole half, they essentially won a single round.
Yeah, I mean, it was just that last round, right? They won the pistol, and then it was a 0.1 second clutch and a 3K in a crazy angle from Nasser to be able to win things through. And part of the reason that XSET was so dominant, it was Zekken in the early round. This guy had an incredible first half. We knew the youngins were stepping up yesterday, and that just continued today. It was XSET, or I always say that, it's Zekken as the opener, and then it was just the flanks as the closer. This round, a great example, Mitch.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is something that is being done really well on the XSET side, which is leaving safety nets for themselves. They always have this fallback, even in, I think it was this round here where it ended up in a 5v3 after these sick openings, and they still send out Cryo to go for that super late flank through mid that ends up netting them the round with the 2K to close.
Yeah, it is really great stuff, and that is the XSET standard. It has been for ages. Maybe the players are changing a little bit. Previously, it was always def on that late lurk through mid, but it doesn't matter who's doing it. It's the same fundamentals. Zekken, really aggressive early on the site, heavy rotations out from their opposition, a late lurk, they close out rounds. Again, I just can't hammer home the point enough that there was not one clean rifle round, bar that final one, that was taken by Leviathan.
Well, Brennan, Josh seems to think 4 could be enough for Leviathan. What do you guys think?
I'm doubtful.
I don't think so. I think this map might already be a write-off.
XSET is so good on the defense.
Oh, Mitch wants a GG go next. What do you guys think about that, Brennan Sideshow?
Well, sort of would be ideal, I think, if you were an NA fan. You know, a bit of a GG go next to get that advantage. But Leviathan are no stranger to comebacks. Ended up pulling off a bit of one against DRX in their final map in that series.
Yeah, they really made me believe that that was possible for them, and that was on the attack side as well. So I'm wondering whether that's going to be the key here. King's still been playing very well on the Neon. And Tacolea's going to get more space, weirdly enough, on the attack. But now you see why they've gone for this Sage pick, I think. The slow and the wall instantly to try and halt the early round aggression from King.
Yep, just absorbed straight away, isn't it? William taken out at a hit. Leviathan are pivoting now into a bit of a contact play. Stun into the flash into the corner, but Zekken's ready and waiting, and that's the nade.
And
rounding off.
The wall actually allowed Zekken time to rotate. He was playing for a fast A hit, and then when they ran up mid instead, the wall buys him enough time to rotate to be heaven. So they're very much, they have a thought process, XSET, behind what timing the wall is giving them. And what it's buying is Zekken's nade.
Such slow play now by Leviathan. They notice trademarks there. Looks like they want to try and burst into A, honestly, off the back of destroying it. Goes down, space now can be gained as well. Bit of jiggle to try and see if they can get some positioning, but it looks like XSET were ready and waiting for it still. It's going to be the 1-for-1. The Boombot did get on target. Stun sent across, scattered. Now the XSET players completely grouped up. Adverso, you've got to be kidding.
30 seconds
That's
left.
an awesome play by Adverso. He's got his team back into it. Massive advantage, and Taco with the chamber head-to-head win. What a save by Adverso. He's been pretty quiet so far in this map, but in my opinion, he was their best player against DRX. On Initiator, able to get so much impact. Despite the loss, he was popping off. He had consistent value and damage. He was 12-2 in first kills to first deaths on Initiator against DRX. If he can have more rounds with impact like that, I might start to believe in the comeback.
Yeah, might be enough to change it. The tide of this fight so far on first map of this series. Ready to fast play, stun. King not messing around. B hopping around, making sure that he can poke, try and force a fight.
Meanwhile, on the A side of the map, actually, Zekken looking like he wants to go. Just jiggling for some information. On the A side of the map, they threw down a Viper Orb very aggressively in order to break Taco's trademark. So now that's actually pulled Shy over towards A ramp and weakened the mid hold a little. XSET moving their players to gamble stack on B.
Oh, it's right where they're ending.
And it's the right read.
Yeah. That's right where they're ending, isn't it? And look at this, holding a nade. Doubled up, holding the choke point.
With two short.
Two shorties in play, two shotguns, all the players moving towards it.
Oh, this looks gross.
Could be brutal. Time running low, the Leviatan players, they might be able to deal with this. They might be able to weather it. It's really hard for them though to stun. Doing a significant amount to try and slow down anything that might be happening. It's still disrupted, but one kill being found. King opens it up. Damage still done, and the players holding close to pillar. Well, they're dealt with easily enough.
That one looked dangerous on the minimap, but Leviathan made it seem like child's play, dismissing that one. King with his dash in, perfect to get past both of the players with shorties, and just calmed it to the rest of his team so that Aaron only able to get away with a single one. Well done from Leviathan there to convert, though of course they're expected to win round 14. And now it's about how much can that momentum keep going.
And keep the ball rolling. A conversion of the bonus round, I mean, exactly what they would need. Send the economy tumbling for XSET. If they can manage to do it. Stun once more, sent flying, disrespecting the slow orb. I mean, King just went straight over it.
And the slow orb itself is not great against Neon Comps. You're relying on the wall, actually, to stop it. I was expecting it to come through there from Death, like it did in the pistol. But they've given them extremely early fence control. So maybe Dev's got an idea of using this in the mid-round to block off B main or something like that.
Tackle at the same time was just trying to catch a bit of an angle. Lurking his way through. Trademark's going to be destroyed. Cryer now forced to just keep one eye on that one particular area on the ropes. XSET making the call here to try and contact Reclear through B main.
This seems a little dangerous to me, actually, but Zekin and Def are getting away with it, and they're getting a lot of good info. Def still has his wall if they just want to wall this off and drop back to B. But they're going for the over push?
No way, they're just pushing all the way deep. I mean, they're going to be meeting each other here. Knife out for King, of course he doesn't anticipate that.
Yeah, very unexpected stuff. And you've got Adverso trying to catch a timing deep into their spawn.
He's in there.
While the rest of the players go to A.
He's running around, Aaron's going to be whiffing the shot there, not going to be finding his mark. An approach coming in now with 25 seconds left. Leviathan want to be trying to get this spike down onto the A site, but the players, this is incredibly chaotic. A lot's been thrown into this, Josh.
Adverso had so many people running around into him. That's almost the third Leviathan player in the round that dies with their knife out.
A bit of overheating going on. Shy has got the world to contest with, hasn't he?
Player standing.
Not the proper weapon for the job. Only grabbing the one, eventually traded. All up to Melzer. What can he really do? It's not even planted for him.
No opportunity there in the 1v4, and that is a sloppy round from Leviathan. Sure, it's just the bonus, it doesn't harm their economy, and they're still within 3 rounds, so it's not a tragedy by any means. But I think they had ways that they certainly could have played those moments better. No qualms with how King played this one, though, because, listen, holding on to that B main push, I think Zek and Def found the
Melzer
perfect
was watching
time.
that for so long.
Yeah.
Spike planted.
But a bit of an unusual decision-making going on from Adverso and Taco. Maybe Adverso just being a bit pot committed back in their spawn there. And this looks like a very fast hit into B.
Players looking like they want to capitalize.
Nobody to meet them.
They got the weapons. A pull just in case there was a player holding at the choke point. So they're going to be using that slow orb and the nade. Clears through. And it's that push and pull of utility that they're just trying to get out of each other.
Yeah, interesting that there's no commitment off the back of that. It looked like Leviathan were going to go for it, but Taco on the other side of the map. And now that you see minute 14, they've stopped the first hit. Now the second wave, break the trademark, paranoia to re-clear out A main. And they're pretty confident that this isn't going to be an A split.
Def ended up rotating pretty early there, but now making his way back over to Heaven. I think he's realized there's a window of opportunity. They could already be up there, recalling it now with the Rolling Thunder. Scatters them again. The stun's just offloaded, even catching on to King there, but still damage. Oh, it's found. Zekin will fall, but Def, this angle is everything. He's being found. The shots just whizzing past his head, and Shy, oh, just wall to the wall, shoulder to shoulder. BCJ right next to him. He's found him in the end. It's just so awkward in which they're able to find these timings, but XSET have come up with the goods 4 players left alive, but they're going to try and get themselves into the site, and they are finding them.
Oh, what a
from
flick!
every place, Melza, it's all down to him! 3 kills, surely he can't get the 4th. This would be absurd. What a salvaging around if he can make it happen, but he's intelligent with it. Rotates around, plays the positioning of the pillar, and time for the spike, and he gets it! Unreal scenes!
Did he just run at him? What an absurd way of playing that situation. I thought for sure it would be some kind of bait. Make the footsteps, try and dance around. What confidence! What skill from Melza. He's only had 2 rounds where he's been able to convert these big plays into round wins, but they've been so important. I feel like I can hear the coach.
Oh my goodness. It's exactly what you need to get back into it if you're Leviatan. Exactly what you mean.
It's such an enormous round. The buy is slop from XSET.
Just trying to take risks off the back of it. Okay, 3 players drop down, including Shy to his knees. Weapons going to be exchanged. Try and remove him, which they do. This buy, despite being poor from XSET. Oh, it's come to fruition, Josh.
Yeah, the mid-crunch was just so good. And now Zekken with those kills gets his ult back online.
Yeah.
Taco takes him out. What a major kill for Taco to find. The paranoia doesn't quite hit.
You're walking into the middle of a judge, man, and still... I mean, the weapon, listen, it's good in some situations, but not that one.
What a bizarre round. I mean, from the very beginning, Leviatan have an economy advantage. XSET come up with a mid-crunch to try and punish. I mean, Zekken with an awesome play here, tucked in the corner, slaughtering people. But what on earth was this overheat from XSET trying to fight at the end?
Spikes down for you.
Yeah, if Zekken just repositions, they win that round 3v2 with the showstopper. And now, I would assume Coach Psycho in his suit calling the timeout as his players are just overheating slightly and allowing Leviatan back into the game. This half has been 4-1 in favor of Leviatan, and they are certainly starting one of those comebacks similar to what we saw on them when they were playing Haven against DRX.
And it's a team that you don't want to let get that confidence underneath them.
Not at all.
You need to try and keep your leads. Psycho looking very serious.
And one of the big problems for XSET, actually, that's starting to rear its head again, they're losing these big clutches.
Yeah.
They can't convert on 2v1s, 3v1s, 4v1s sometimes seem like they're even not a sure thing for XSET. And they have the skill, obviously. You can see that throughout the majority of the rounds. They've got the skill to be able to go up. But something's breaking down in those end moments. Perhaps the communication flying all over the place. Either way, it's an issue that they need to solve, and it's an issue that the timeout will have sought to address.
Get right back into it, aren't we? Buys on either side. Maybe the Sage pick that, you know, Def's opting into, maybe the intention of it being to slow down a Neon, but so far, I mean, the slow orbs have just been disrespected every single time in mid for King.
Aaron's popping his pit here and has 2 players ready to defend.
King's up in ramp already.
Yeah, they had to react quickly because there was no Leviatan players in mid. And if Leviatan's Neon comp isn't taking mid control, they're running somewhere else. So you better go and stop them. Even using an ult from BCJ just to check whether or not a ramp had been compromised.
Yeah, the players are hiding now.
And it's a really cool trademark that Taco Lea's managed to put into the middle of the Viper's pit. So he knows, actually, there isn't a push, and Aaron is actually sat back in one of these really passive positions in B Heaven or in ropes.
Teleport's ready.
And the information right now. Well, with the stars drop down on a fast lane, that's going to be the go button pressed for Leviatan. The nade, and look at that, the timing is off. Leviatan players happy to just run straight past it. Spike. Oh, the plan's coming through. Has to get off of it, though, with a showstopper. Rocket whizzing past, finding his way onto the site. No damage really being done other than King brought down. Very, very low. Double satchel plays. It gets over his head, and he's found 2. Bit of a return, a swap around with the weapons, and Verso's got to come up with something huge. Him and Taco Lea. The angles, will they find them? The answer is no. XSET on the retake. A little bit too clean, a little bit too sublime.
That is classic Zekken. Wonderful blast pack usage. Gets over the top. Bamboozling, breaking the ankles of King, I think it was, in elbow. Flying over his head. And twisting it down onto another player, tucked in the corner, who never saw him coming either.
Yeah.
Awesome retake. Very nice. Even after his ultimate had failed. Look at this.
And he just breaks across that placement.
And you've got Shy there, who had no idea he was going to be in the line of fire.
Worrying about that the entire time, obviously. About that heaven push.
Pretty much the first retake that XSET have gone for, where they allow Leviatan into the site and try and pull something off against them. I think they specifically set that up with the showstopper. Leviatan have taken early B main control this time.
Leah, that is a very high risk, potentially high reward play. Disrespecting the snake bite, gets vulnerable up, tries to take the shot, but just about gets away with his life, Josh.
Yeah. There haven't really been too many players towards screens for XSET, though. So I don't think Taco was likely to find anybody. The confidence from Zekken on this repush through mid.
And it's a half bite as well.
Yeah, as Cryo just holds the angle for him. If Zekken does get caught, it could be difficult.
Well, if I believe they've been farming up orbs, so King's now got his overdrive. Popped his ult and he's handed the rifle off over to Adverso. They want to pop into A here, but BCJ is holding down one angle. Aaron, it looks like he's got a bit of utility out just in case with the snake bite ready and waiting. Pings are there. One way's going to start to invade any time. Now with the smoke popped up, they just spam through, anticipating it.
But it's only Taco that gets caught. Having said that, there are 4 players there. I think XSET are pretty confident in their read that this is going to be an A-pop.
Cryo's still watching that mid-angle as well, just in case the load comes through. Overdrive popped. King almost going down as he just tries to waddle his way straight past that choke point.
Do they have time to pivot through mid?
They're trying to pivot, I think, off the back of maybe Melza finding a bit of space as well, but they have taken a heaven control, but still they're split right down the middle, trying to find the angles, trying to find the players, but not enough. The weaponry just not there.
Yeah, Leviathan, nice try, but time ticking too low, and XSET had the read. I mean, when you see 4 players staring down the A push, you know XSET are hyper-confident that they've got a good idea about what's going on. And Leviathan use Neon ultimate there. They got a Rolling Thunder with which to play with. The last time they had that Breach shot online, they went and took mid control and tried to do a B split. Breach ulting through heaven. Neon stun towards back stairs. You may see something similar. And in fact, actually, when we can see the minimap, I can see somebody on XSET pinging that one out. So the defensive team already prepped for something like that.
Yeah, it seems like they're aware. This timeout from Leviathan, got to be coming up with answers. I mean, XSET, they took that one timeout, and it seems like just the entire tone of this map so far has just changed.
Yeah, Leviathan's timeouts have historically been fantastic. I mean, it's not just Owner. Obviously, Owner is not here. The legendary coach that took Crew to these massive results. He's not here. He wasn't able to attend. But Bitoni was the assistant coach from Crew, who was also involved in that.
Yeah.
And you're expecting a similar level of impact, honestly, because this coaching staff is good, and this coaching staff is proven for Leviathan. We'll see whether they can make the right adaptation, yeah, and come up with an answer here. I think it looks like they're set up for a B split again with the Breach ult. But as I said, I could see the little pings on the minimap. I knew that XSET were ready for it. They've got 3 players over there at the moment. I think there will be
a line of pings.
Yeah.
Seems like it might be.
And in fact, Cryo pinging out a line where he's going to be holding it with his ult.
Already. Adverso's not messing around. The ult sent flying. It looks like XSET, though, were ready for it, but the utility slightly off. Still, Cryo has the angle.
Exactly.
Pinged it out earlier. Read like a book, it feels like. XSET more than ready, but maybe the raw mechanical talent of Leviathan is enough to try and pull them ahead. Flash through, doubling, and just disrespecting the fragment nade. You don't expect that.
That's an awesome idea from Def and Aaron to swing through the smoke together. And also, full credit to XSET. It is Aaron that normally does the IGLing on their defensive half, but it could be any of the 3 big brains, Def, Aaron, or Psycho, that read that play coming. But they were orchestrating every little anti-strat there. They had players stacked over, they knew what utility they were going to throw, and they specifically put Cryo on the line to up heaven.
Yeah.
Read like a book.
Layers upon layers to try and deal with that one. And now a fast play, something to try and disrespect it. Dev's been caught. Finally something in this trap. Leviathan, play they've made a couple of times on his attack side. This time, finding a critical pickoff.
These are the moments where XSET start to re-explore the map. They've been following the same pattern repeatedly here, even with the player down. I think they're going to go for an info play. Yeah, and it's Cryo looking towards mid. Once they stop the initial aggression from Leviathan, whether it's intended to be a full sight hit or not. Then XSET choose this timing, about 110, to start pushing deep. And you can see Cryo Zekken going for this play again. It didn't really get spotted last time, though. So we'll see whether Leviatan have an answer for it.
Gives some good information in the mid-round, but no players are going to be able to stop this if this pop comes through that Leviatan are setting up for.
And a reminder that against Optic, XSET won 0 out of 23 of these rounds.
Go, go, go.
Where somebody like Def died early.
The attempt comes through with a fast lane, gets the players in, a bit of spam here and there, which is definitely trying to be done. Whoa, the angle being held! Aaron's just hugging the side of the pillar, sidesteps it, Cryo's got him covered once more. It's going to be the trade online, a nade to deny the plant. There's 24 seconds left. Now you see that no command. Shy wants to just deny the abilities, the utility usage, being able to stop them and Verso. What an angle being held, but still Cryo, how does he get it? Time and time again, this guy has been so consistent, and it could be enough. The damage, once and for all. King has to find something, and it's down to the 1v1 to keep them in this map. Half under the fuse, BCJ moves forwards, and he finds the shots in the end. The Red Bull clutch. 3 in a round, and Leviatan are still in it.
What a huge one from King. A desperate one as well. Leviatan are hanging on to this by a thread. They have had so many big individual moments. From King, from Melza, Adverso with a clutch as well. On the pistol, were able to take out so many players. I think King plays the situation perfectly with the Spectre.
Yeah.
Just run and gun with it.
Why not?
But if that's what it takes to keep them in it, look at how shoddy the buy is once more.
Just scraping by, aren't they? Tooth and nail trying to find a way back into the map. They can drag it to OT, but these risky plays starting to feel the other side of it. It's a double-edged sword, of course. You can find those pickoffs, but the damage is being done. Shy immediately pushed away. They don't lose any players, crucially.
And Aaron has no snake bites to defend this. It's only him with his weapon.
Utility popped off, stunned up, flashed up. Aaron really cannot see a thing. Cryo was trying to cover it. They're not really finding the shots, but still BCJ holding on the top of heaven. No one cleared him off of it. And the off angle by Aaron. You're never going to be expecting that. Crouched up on the box. It's all up to King and Takolia. The Viper's pit popped off. Def just hopping away, dodging, juking to the side. The player dropped down. It's all down to King. Can he keep them in the map once more?
He's been great in the clutch. Leviatan have been great in the clutch, but I don't think this one is doable, Brent. It would just require an absurd performance. XSET using the Viper's Pit, using the Resurrect, and this area's walled off.
12 health, 10 bullets. He doesn't want to reload, doesn't want to reveal where he is. No time on the clock. And they just spot him. The spam coming through. King reacts just a tad too late. He doesn't pay for it with his life, but at this point, it just feels done. And like that, XSET going to be claiming map number 1 in this series' elimination match between them and Leviatan.